It's a special place, springs, rocks, mountains, streams, and so forth. And each one of these were imbued with certain power.
They adapted the architecture to the nature and not imposing architecture on nature, which is very different. This is what we call it landscape architecture.
Have you ever wondered if an advanced civilization existed long before our recorded history? One that remains unknown to us today? Could it be possible that these people achieved feats beyond our wildest imaginations, only to be erased by a global catastrophe? According to Randall Carlson, the answer to these provocative questions is a definitive yes. This controversial alternative researcher believes that the evidence of this lost high-tech culture is both visible and undeniable. With a recent discovery, Carlson reveals an ancient historical truth that shows that the oldest secret of the Earth has been uncovered, and scientists are shocked. Come with us to explore the depths of the shocking discovery. Ancient civilizations and the lost past. Ancient Egypt dominated the Mediterranean region for nearly 3,000 years, from its unification around 3100 BC to its conquest by Alexander the Great in 332 BC. The grandeur of Egypt, from the Old Kingdom's Great Pyramids to the New Kingdom's military triumphs, has fascinated archaeologists and historians, and has given rise to a specialized field of study: Egyptology. Our primary knowledge of ancient Egypt comes from the numerous monuments, objects, and artifacts unearthed at archaeological sites, many of which are inscribed with hieroglyphs that have only recently been deciphered. Civilizations such as this captivate us with their achievements and mysteries, offering glimpses into the foundations of human history, with ancient Egypt standing out for its monumental architecture, advanced knowledge, and rich cultural heritage. Over thousands of years, much of what once defined this civilization has been lost to the sands of time, as temples and cities lie buried, waiting to reveal their secrets. At the heart of Egypt's ancient wonders stands the Great Sphinx of Giza. This monumental limestone statue, with the body of a lion and the head of a human, commands respect and awe, as it is believed to have been constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BC, making it one of the oldest and largest statues in the world. The Sphinx is more than a marvel of engineering. It is a symbol of the pharaoh's power and divine connection. Aligned with the rising sun on the equinoxes, it embodies the ancient Egyptians' sophisticated understanding of astronomy and their deep spiritual beliefs. The Sphinx's purpose and significance are subjects of extensive study and debate, with many scholars agreeing that it was built to protect the Giza Plateau and the pyramids, thus symbolizing the pharaoh's might and serving as a guardian of sacred spaces. Carved directly from the bedrock, the Sphinx is a testament to the Egyptians' architectural ingenuity, with many mysteries surrounding it despite its grandeur. The true date of its construction, the meaning of the chambers beneath it, and the reasons for its unique design continue to puzzle researchers, with each new discovery bringing us closer to understanding this ancient guardian and also opening up new questions, ensuring the Sphinx remains an eternal enigma. Origins of the Sphinx. The origins of the Great Sphinx of Giza trace back to the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, the fourth king of the fourth dynasty of Egypt, around 2558-2532 BC. Carved from the limestone bedrock on the Giza Plateau, the Sphinx is an immense statue, measuring approximately 73 meters in length and 20 meters in height. This single block of stone was meticulously crafted to represent a mythical creature with a lion's body and a human head. The Sphinx's face is widely believed to depict Khafre himself, aligning it closely with his pyramid complex situated nearby. Positioned as if to guard Khafre's pyramid, the Sphinx symbolizes the pharaoh's protective power and divine authority, a role further underscored by its alignment with the rising sun and connection to the sun god Ra. Pharaoh Khafre, known as Chephren, played a significant role in the construction of this colossal monument. His pyramid complex includes a valley temple filled with statues and reliefs that strengthen the association between Khafre and the Sphinx. And despite the lack of definitive inscriptions directly linking Khafre to the Sphinx, the architectural style and contextual evidence suggest his patronage. The Sphinx's hybrid form was designed to represent the strength and wisdom of the pharaoh, projecting an image of his divine nature to all who approach the Giza Plateau. Throughout history, the Sphinx has been subject to erosion, damage, and various restoration efforts. Frequently buried in sand, the Sphinx was both preserved and harmed by this natural phenomenon, with the exception of its nose missing, likely removed by iconoclasts or through erosion. Additionally, a fragment of its ceremonial beard can be found in the British Museum. Restoration efforts date back to ancient times, with significant contributions from Pharaoh Thutmose IV, who placed the dream stele between its paws after a dream in which the Sphinx promised him kingship in exchange for clearing the sand. Roman Emperor Septimius Severus also performed restorations in the 3rd century Anno Domini, with all these efforts reflecting the ongoing reverence and significance of the Sphinx in Egyptian culture and beyond. It symbolizes a timeless connection to ancient wisdom and power. Unearthing the mysteries of the Sphinx. Like the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx has a lot of mystery surrounding it, most of which have not been made known to the public. The presence and location in different parts of the world is attributed to its mystery and significance. In Egypt, the Sphinx is found in the Giza Pyramid Complex, which includes 3 large pyramids: the Pyramid of Menkaure, the Pyramid of Khafre, and the Pyramid of Khufu. Each of these pyramids is accessed through a temple, followed by a long causeway that leads to their entrances. The Great Sphinx is situated just behind Khafre's Valley Temple, at the start of the causeway to his funerary temple. When traveling from Cairo to Giza, the Great Sphinx is one of the first landmarks visible upon approaching the Giza Pyramid Complex. In ancient Egypt, the Sphinx served as a spiritual guardian, typically depicted as a male with a pharaoh's headdress resembling the Great Sphinx. These figures were commonly found in tomb and temple complexes and symbolized protection and divine presence. An example of their prominence can be seen in Sphinx Alley, a 2-mile avenue in Upper Egypt that connects the Luxor and Karnak temples, lined with statues of sphinxes. Variations of the Sphinx also included depictions resembling the female pharaoh Hatshepsut, such as the granite Sphinx at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and the large alabaster Sphinx at the Ramessid Temple in Memphis, Egypt. These statues highlight the diverse representations and cultural significance of the Sphinx beyond its typical male form in ancient Egyptian art. The Sphinx spread beyond Egypt to Asia and Greece around the 15th and 16th century BC, where it underwent cultural adaptation. The Asian Sphinx often featured eagle wings, was frequently depicted as female, and typically sat on its haunches with one paw raised in artistic depictions. Meanwhile, in Greek mythology, the Sphinx retained wings and had the tail of a serpent. According to legends, it posed riddles to travelers and devoured those who could not solve them, showcasing its role as a mythical enforcer of wisdom and challenge. The early excavations around the ancient Egyptian Sphinx began with Giovanni Battista Caviglia, and it spanned from 1817 to 1818. During this time, Caviglia uncovered the chest and front paws of the Sphinx, although his work was hampered by sand and debris constantly refilling the site. This was followed by Auguste Mariette's efforts between 1853 to 1858, which brought international attention to the Sphinx. Mariette, the founder of the Egyptian Antiquities Service, further exposed the Sphinx's body and discovered the dream stele between its paws. These initial excavations laid the groundwork for future explorations, revealing the Sphinx's connection to the pharaohs and its central role in Egyptian culture. Major archaeological discoveries around the Sphinx include the uncovering of the causeway and adjacent temples, such as the Valley Temple and the Sphinx Temple. These temples, constructed from massive limestone and granite blocks, indicate that the Sphinx was part of a larger religious complex and played a significant role in the funerary practices of the Old Kingdom. Excavations by Selim Hassan between 1925 to 1936 were particularly comprehensive, as he cleared the sand from the entire statue and found various artifacts, including statues and inscriptions that helped date the Sphinx and provide context. Mark Lehner's ongoing work since the 1980s has utilized modern archaeological techniques, revealing previously unknown features of the Sphinx and its enclosure, such as subsurface cavities and structural details of the Sphinx Temple. With modern technology, what we know about the Sphinx has become more specific and advanced, with ground-penetrating radar and seismic surveys revealing anomalies beneath the Sphinx and its enclosure that may indicate hidden chambers or voids. While these findings are still debated, they add to the intrigue surrounding the monument and have added to the mystery around the Sphinx of Giza. Myths and legends. Throughout history, the Sphinx has inspired a wealth of myths and legends. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the Sphinx was often associated with the sun god, Horus, and was seen as a powerful guardian of the Giza Plateau. Known as Horum Akhet, or Horus in the horizon, it symbolized the rising sun and the rebirth of the pharaohs. This majestic figure was believed to protect the sacred tombs and pyramids, serving as a divine sentinel that warded off any who dared to desecrate the royal necropolis. The Greek adaptation of the Sphinx myth introduced the creature as a fearsome being that posed riddles to travelers, with the most famous story involving Oedipus. This version of the Sphinx, part of Greek mythology, underscored the creature's role as both a protector and a challenger, blending elements of strength and intellect in its characterization. These ancient myths reflect the cultural values and religious beliefs of the civilizations that revered the Sphinx, highlighting its significance as a symbol of power, protection, and eternal watchfulness. In modern times, the Sphinx continues to captivate the imagination, giving rise to numerous myths and speculative theories. One of the most intriguing modern myths is the idea of hidden chambers and secret tunnels beneath the Sphinx, a concept popularized by figures like Edgar Cayce, an American psychic, who predicted the existence of a hall of records beneath the Sphinx's paws, which would contain ancient knowledge and secrets of lost civilizations. This theory has fueled countless explorations and studies, though no concrete evidence has been found to support it. Another controversial theory is the water erosion hypothesis, proposed by researchers such as John Anthony West and Robert Schoch. They argue that the weathering patterns on the Sphinx suggest it is much older than traditionally believed, possibly dating back to a time when the region experienced significant rainfall. This theory challenges established timelines of ancient Egyptian history and has sparked heated debates among archaeologists and geologists. Additionally, the notion of extraterrestrial involvement in the construction of the Sphinx is a popular yet fringe theory, with proponents citing the advanced engineering and astronomical alignment of the monument as evidence of alien intervention. These modern myths highlight the enduring mystery and fascination that surround the Sphinx, blending elements of science fiction, pseudoscience, and genuine archaeological inquiry. Furthermore, another source of legend and speculation around the Great Sphinx is the missing nose of the Sphinx. Various stories attempt to explain this physical feature, with some attributing it to the actions of Napoleon's soldiers, who allegedly used the nose for target practice during their campaign in Egypt. However, historical records indicate that the nose was missing long before Napoleon's time, suggesting alternative explanations. One such theory posits that a Sufi Muslim in the 14th century defaced the Sphinx in an act of religious zeal, believing that the statue represented idolatry. Other accounts suggest that natural erosion or earlier acts of vandalism could be responsible for the damage. Nonetheless, the true cause remains a mystery, adding to the enigmatic allure of the Sphinx. These legends, both ancient and modern, not only enrich our understanding of the Sphinx's cultural and historical significance, but also illustrate how myths evolve over time. By reflecting the changing perspectives and imaginations of those who seek to unravel the secrets of this timeless guardian, the interplay between myth and reality continues to fuel the Sphinx's status as an enduring symbol of mystery and wonder. The interdisciplinary discovery. Scientific discoveries of the Sphinx have encompassed several disciplines including archaeology, geology, climatology, and of course, Egyptology. Each of these disciplines have something to say about the historical statue, and oftentimes their differing opinions clash and do not agree with one another. One of the most significant geological findings pertains to the erosion patterns observed on the Sphinx and its surrounding enclosure. While traditional Egyptology posits that the Sphinx was constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist from Boston University, challenged this view in the early 1990s. Schoch observed that the weathering and erosion patterns on the Sphinx's body and the enclosure walls were indicative of water erosion rather than the more commonly assumed wind and sand erosion. This type of weathering suggested prolonged exposure to significant rainfall, which was not characteristic of the arid climate of Egypt in the last 4,500 years. Schoch's analysis led to the controversial hypothesis that the Sphinx might be much older than previously thought, possibly dating back to a period between 7,000 and 5,000 BC, or even earlier when the region experienced a wetter climate. The study of the Sphinx's structural composition has also provided valuable insights into its construction techniques and historical timeline. The Sphinx is carved directly out of a limestone bedrock, which extends below the Giza Plateau. This method of construction involved removing large blocks of limestone to create the Sphinx's shape, while simultaneously using those blocks to construct the adjacent Sphinx temple. This technique of simultaneous construction and excavation is a marvel of ancient engineering, demonstrating advanced planning and execution. Furthermore, the examination of the various stages of repair and restoration work on the Sphinx provides a historical record of its preservation. Different styles of masonry used in repairs indicate that the Sphinx has undergone numerous restoration efforts over millennia, each reflecting the architectural styles and techniques of the respective periods. These repairs are essential for understanding the continuous human interaction with the Sphinx and the significance it held across different eras of Egyptian history. Seismic surveys have added another layer of understanding to the scientific study of the Sphinx. These surveys, which involve sending seismic waves through the ground and measuring their reflections, have revealed anomalies beneath the Sphinx that suggest the presence of cavities or chambers. One of the most intriguing findings from these surveys is the indication of a large rectangular chamber located beneath the front paws of the Sphinx. This discovery has fueled speculations and theories about hidden rooms or tunnels that might contain ancient artifacts or records. While the purpose and contents of these subsurface features remain unknown, the potential for uncovering new archaeological treasures beneath the Sphinx is a tantalizing prospect that continues to drive scientific inquiry. The combination of geological, structural, and seismic studies has significantly advanced our understanding of the Sphinx, but it has also raised new questions and challenges that keep the mystery of this ancient monument alive. New Age discoveries and speculations. Randall Carlson, a geologist and researcher, is known for his unconventional theories regarding ancient civilizations, including his work on the Sphinx. However, Carlson's interest in the Sphinx is primarily driven by his broader theories of catastrophism, which propose that Earth has experienced periodic cataclysmic events that have significantly impacted human history and civilization. Carlson's geological analysis of the Sphinx focuses on the erosion patterns, which he, like Schoch, attributes to water rather than wind and sand. Carlson supports the hypothesis that the Sphinx shows signs of significant water erosion, suggesting that it could be much older than the traditionally accepted age. He posits that the evidence of water erosion indicates a construction date that predates the end of the last ice age, potentially placing the Sphinx's origins over 10,000 years ago. Carlson's theories extend beyond the physical analysis of the Sphinx's erosion patterns to include broader speculations about ancient civilizations. He suggests that the Sphinx could be a remnant of a lost advanced civilization that existed long before the known ancient Egyptian civilization. According to him, this civilization might have had advanced knowledge and capabilities that were subsequently lost or forgotten over millennia. He draws parallels between the Sphinx and other ancient structures worldwide, proposing that these monuments could be evidence of a global, prehistoric, advanced civilization that left behind enigmatic architectural legacies. Carlson's theories are part of a larger narrative that challenges conventional historical timelines and suggests that humanity's history is far older and more complex than traditionally understood. One of Carlson's most intriguing speculations involves the symbolic and astronomical significance of the Sphinx. He points to the alignment of the Sphinx with the constellation Leo and its position relative to the Great Pyramid as evidence of ancient astronomical knowledge. Carlson suggests that the Sphinx, with its leonine body, could have served as a marker of the age of Leo, which occurred around 10,500 BC. This period coincides with the time frame proposed by Carlson and Schoch for the Sphinx's construction based on geological evidence. And according to this theory, the Sphinx might have been part of a grand celestial calendar, marking significant astronomical events and cycles. This interpretation aligns with Carlson's broader view that ancient civilizations possessed sophisticated knowledge of astronomy and used it to align their monuments with celestial bodies. While these speculations are controversial and not widely accepted within mainstream archaeology, they highlight the enduring mystery and fascination surrounding the Sphinx and its possible connections to ancient knowledge and lost civilizations. The implications of the scientific discoveries and theories about the Sphinx, particularly those put forward by Randall Carlson and Robert Schoch, are profound and far-reaching. If the Sphinx is indeed much older than traditionally believed, it would require a major revision of our understanding of ancient Egyptian history and the development of early civilizations. This older dating would imply that complex societies capable of constructing monumental architecture existed long before the rise of known ancient cultures. Such a revelation would challenge the current historical paradigm and suggest that the origins of civilization are much deeper and more complex than previously thought. Moreover, the possibility of an advanced pre-Egyptian civilization raises intriguing questions about the transmission of knowledge and cultural continuity, and would imply that significant technological and architectural knowledge was lost and later rediscovered or reinvented by subsequent civilizations. Meanwhile, Carlson's theories and the broader implications of an older Sphinx face significant criticism from mainstream archaeologists and Egyptologists, as many scholars are skeptical of the water erosion hypothesis, arguing that the evidence can be explained by other factors, such as localized flooding or changes in the water table. They also point out that the dating methods used by Schoch and Carlson are not precise enough to draw definitive conclusions about the Sphinx's age. Critics argue that more rigorous and conclusive evidence is needed to support such dramatic revisions of ancient history. Additionally, the lack of direct archaeological evidence for the existence of an advanced pre-Egyptian civilization weakens the case for Carlson's theories. Without tangible artifacts, records, or other structures from this hypothetical civilization, the theory remains speculative and controversial. Despite the criticisms, the theories put forward by Carlson and others have sparked a renewed interest in the Sphinx and ancient civilizations. They have encouraged further interdisciplinary research, combining geology, archaeology, and astronomy to explore ancient structures more strategically. This open-minded approach to interpreting ancient evidence has led to new discoveries and insights, contributing to a more nuanced understanding of the past. The public fascination with these theories has also increased funding and resources for research in these areas, driving continued exploration and study. Subscribers pick. Beneath the sands of time shrouded in mystery and legend lies the ancient Egyptian civilization, home to the iconic mythical Sphinx and the Great Pyramids of Giza. What untold stories do these monumental structures hold? How did they manage to stand the test of millennia, guarding their secrets so fiercely? Recently, an extraordinary revelation has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. A hidden chamber within the Great Pyramid has been discovered, and with it, a startling truth. The oldest secret of the Earth has been uncovered, and scientists are shocked. Join us to uncover this truth and what it means for the world. Preserving an enigma, ensuring that the future generations have something to remind them of ancient origins, is one of the main reasons why pieces of ancient structure are preserved. This preservation requires a multifaceted approach that blends traditional methods with cutting-edge technology. This effort is not merely about maintaining a physical structure, but about preserving a significant cultural and historical symbol that offers insights into the ancient Egyptian civilization. Historical preservation efforts have varied significantly, from the early interventions by the ancient Egyptians themselves to the more systematic and scientific approaches of modern times, and a combination of these efforts have evolved to address the complex and multifaceted nature of the challenges faced by this ancient monument. One of the earliest recorded restoration efforts dates back to the New Kingdom, particularly under Pharaoh Thutmose IV, who placed a stela between the Sphinx's paws, recounting how the monument was cleared of sand. This act of clearing the sand that engulfed the Sphinx was likely one of the first preservation efforts aimed at protecting the monument from further erosion and damage. In the modern era, the 20th century saw a significant ramp-up in preservation activities as the condition of the Sphinx deteriorated due to pollution, groundwater issues, and increased tourism. Modern preservation steps include structural reinforcement, erosion control, and environmental monitoring, as engineers have reinforced the Sphinx with stone blocks and cement mortar to stabilize areas prone to collapse, carefully inserting new stones that match the original limestone to support weakened parts of the structure. Erosion control measures such as protective barriers and windbreaks have been constructed around the Sphinx to reduce the impact of wind-blown sand, a significant erosive force in the desert environment. Continuous environmental monitoring, including the use of weather stations to track temperature, humidity, wind speed, and sand movement, as well as groundwater studies to assess the impact of rising groundwater levels, is important in understanding and controlling the effects of these factors on the Sphinx. Chemical treatments are another critical aspect of the preservation efforts, and they include the application of chemical consolidants and water repellents to strengthen the stone and reduce its porosity, enhancing its resistance to environmental damage. Conservation techniques such as laser cleaning, which removes pollutants and biological growth like algae and lichen from the surface without damaging the underlying stone, are also employed. This method is particularly effective because it can be precisely adjusted for different surface conditions, ensuring that the delicate limestone is not further damaged during the cleaning process. To control biological growth, biocides are applied to the surface to prevent microorganisms from thriving in the limestone pores, which can cause significant damage over time. Humidity control systems have been set up to manage humidity levels around the Sphinx, reducing the effects of moisture on the stone. These systems include improved drainage systems to prevent water from pooling around the monument, which can lead to salt crystallization within the limestone, causing structural damage. Scientific studies play a major role in guiding these preservation efforts, as detailed material analysis helps conservators understand the properties of the limestone and the best methods for preservation. Techniques such as ground-penetrating radar and 3D scanning provide detailed images of the Sphinx's internal structure, identifying weak points in areas that require immediate attention. Historical documentation and research into past restoration efforts also provide valuable insights, guiding current practices. Public awareness and involvement are also essential components of the preservation efforts. Education programs, including museum exhibitions, documentaries, and on-site information panels, aim to inform the public about the importance of preserving the Sphinx. Controlled tourism, with carefully designed pathways and viewing platforms, helps reduce physical contact with the structure, reducing wear and tear over time. Collaboration with international experts, including archaeologists, engineers, and conservationists, brings diverse expertise and advanced technologies to the project, enhancing the effectiveness of the preservation efforts. However, several challenges remain. Balancing the need to preserve the Sphinx with the demands of tourism, ensuring accessibility while protecting the monument from damage, is a constant challenge. The long-term impacts of climate change, such as increased temperature and changes in weather patterns, pose additional threats to the Sphinx's preservation. Ongoing research is needed to develop new preservation techniques and materials that can withstand the harsh desert environment. But notwithstanding, the commitment to preserving the Great Sphinx of Giza remains unwavering. By combining traditional methods with modern technology, conservators aim to protect this ancient wonder for future generations with a combination of efforts that extend beyond mere structural reinforcement, encompassing environmental monitoring, scientific research, and public education to ensure the Sphinx remains a symbol of ancient Egyptian ingenuity and culture. The preservation of the Sphinx is not just about maintaining a physical structure, but about safeguarding a vital part of our shared human heritage. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.